Hello students, this is Pooja Pathak and today we are going to deal with the topic phylum Mollusca. So as I have already mentioned most of the phylums prior to Mollusca in the previous videos, please go to my channel and just search it and subscribe it. Thank you. So let's talk about the phylum Mollusca. It is the second largest phylum which includes soft bodied and shelled animals. So here I am already telling you that this is the second largest phylum, but comment me in the comment box that which one is the first largest phylum. Okay, thank you. Now coming to the next point, that they are aquatic, maybe marine, maybe freshwater or terrestrial. So here when we talk about the marine water molluscans, they are like included octopus, and in freshwater molluscans they are unio. Now coming to the third point, that is study of mollusk is known as malacology and study of shells is known as conchology. Now coming to the next point, that is mollusks are bilaterally symmetrical. Now what is bilateral symmetrical? Already I have told in my previous videos, but still again for your convenience I am going to explain it, that if the animal is, this one is the animal, if we pass a sagittal plane from middle of the animal is being divided into two equal halves. So this is bilateral symmetry. So they have bilateral symmetry, but the most important, as exceptions exist everywhere, I am going to include here that here is an exception here, that the apple snail, that is Phyla globosa, that is a mollusk, it shows secondarily asymmetrical. What is this? Means if you see the animal, see this is the animal, what it does, it shows during the development, during the time of development, when the means what happens, there is the twisting of the body. Here the middle part of the particular animal, it start twisting, maybe clockwise, maybe anti-clockwise, and which gives it a asymmetrical body plan. Okay, so this twisting of the body is known as torsion. Okay, which is the most important means we can say characteristic of the molluscans. So now coming to the next point, that they are triploblastic and coelomate animals. Yes, they have coelom and they have organ system level of organization. Organ system level of organization means, because see, they previously poriferans and we were talking about platyhelminths, aschelminths and annelida arthropoda, they were primitive forms. Now molluscans are a little bit advanced, so now they have organ system level of organization. They have so many organs to perform different functions, like for respiration they have ctenidia, which is known as gills. For excretion they have organ of Bojanus, and for digestion they have particularly alimentary canal and all. So this is a organ system, and they all together they complete the particular organism. Now coming to the body is unsegmented with variety of shapes and covered with the calcareous shell. See, the presence of shell and absence of shell, it may be, sometimes the shell may be present and shell sometimes it may not be present, but in some of the animals the shell is present inside the body, like example Sepia. Sepia is an example of molluscan belonging to the class Cephalopoda, and it has shell but not outside the body, it has shell inside the body. Now coming to the body division, it has head, dorsal visceral hump and ventral muscular foot for the locomotion. As you just imagine in your mind that a particular snail, when it crawls on its foot or on the ventral muscular foot. Okay, it does not have legs like us. Now coming to the next point, that soft and spongy layer of skin form a mantle. Now coming to the mantle, see, this is a particular animal here and this is a mantle. Okay, this is a mantle here. This gives rise to and secrete shell. Okay, this gives rise to shell. This is a shell and this is a mantle, and in between these two, this is the eyes here and digestive system. See, this is particular cavity which is known as mantle cavity. Mantle cavity, what it does, here in mantle cavity, this is a mantle cavity, and here the particularly leaf-like structure is present. Here leaf-like structure is present. This leaf-like structure is known as ctenidia. Okay, this is known as ctenidia, and which helps in respiration as well as excretion. How? See, the water passes inside from here and goes outside from here, and through this ctenidia respiration occurs. And this ctenidia also, this is also known as gills for the snails, or the molluscans, it also helps in excretion as well. Now coming to the next point, see the mantle usually secrete an external calcareous shell, and shell is made up of calcium carbonate. Now coming to the next slide, see this is the particularly screenshot of a NCERT, that it shows that see the NCERT is on its own is a very important book, and we have to include that in our reading whenever we are going through any topic. We should definitely go through the topic of this NCERT. Now talking about the phylum Mollusca, second largest animal of the phylum. They are terrestrial and they have head, muscular foot, visceral hump, which I have told you, this is the visceral hump in the animal, and they have feather like gills. They help in respiration, excretion, and head region have sensory tentacles. Here it has sensory tentacles, and they have radula. Very, very important point that they have radula. Now what is radula? See, radula, it is the characteristic of gastropoda. It is the characteristic of gastropoda, the cephalopoda, scaphopoda, polyplacophora, monoplacophora. But in bivalvia, radula is absent. Okay, in bivalvia, the radula is absent. What is the function of radula? Radula performs a function for rasping organ or for feeding. How? See, the stone, whenever the food item is stick to the stone or it is being embedded in the stone, for scraping it, the rest like a filer. When we use a nails filer, same like that it is also work. So radula is very important part of the molluscans, and also very important that radula is seen in only in molluscan, not in any other phylum of animal kingdom. Okay, so radula, presence of radula, if whenever it is asked, blindly you can say molluscans, but not all molluscans. If the statement is given in they have 6 classes and all mollusks they have the walls, sorry, they have radula, no, gastropods they have, cephalopods they have, all other, but except bivalvia. Okay, the bivalvia, they are actually they are specialized for the pearl industries, or they are known as pearl oysters, like Pinctada. Okay, they have bivalve. But how bivalve? See, this is the, they are attached to the, here abductor muscles are there, here pearls are there. Okay, so they are bivalvia. These kind of molluscans, they don't have radula. Okay, and they include the Astrea, Pinctada, and Unio, they Mytilus, they are included into the bivalvia. Now coming to the next phylum, sorry, next slide. Digestive tract is complete. Buccal cavity like file like rasping organ is there in radula. Transverse rows of teeth are present in the radula, which help them for scraping it out, the food item for them. Anus opening into the mental cavity, definitely, because mental cavity, it is a cavity from which water flows out, and from there only the waste material goes out. Now coming to the respiration, respiration is through ctenidia. Now coming to the one more important, very, very important point, that Pila, or we can say the apple snail, is the amphibian of the molluscans. How they are, why they are known as amphibians? Because they respire by pulmonary sac on the terrestrial zone and by gills in the water. So just because of this presence of pulmonary sac and gills, they are known as amphibians of the molluscan phylum. And circulatory system is advanced in mollusca, but most of all the molluscans are open type of, they have open type of circulatory system, but only cephalopoda, means octopus. Cephalopoda means cephalic region. See, this is octopus, and they have cephalo. Why they are known as cephalopoda? Cephalo means head, poda means legs, the foot. So what they have head on their foot. So cephalopoda. So cephalopods, they have closed type of circulatory system. Okay, they include octopus, sepia, loligo, and it is very important. So now just go through the topics, whatever go through the points whatever we studied. First of all, they are bilateral, they have bilateral symmetry. See, they have bilateral symmetry, they may be aquatic, they may be freshwater, they show torsion, very important. They show asymmetrical body plan in snails. Okay, it is very important. They have respiratory organs like ctenidia, as well as in Phyla globosa exception is there, they have pulmonary sac for respiration. Now coming to the next thing, that excretion. Excretion is also very important in the that particular phylum, that for excretion they have Kieber's organ, or we can say organ of Buchanus. What it does, how it works, see, organ of Buchanus is present just below the pericardial cavity. Okay, pericardial cavity means near the heart. Okay, what it does, Kieber's organ, it collects the waste material all through the body, and it collects blood all through the body, and it brings to the pericardial cavity. Okay, it brings to the pericardial cavity, it is heart, and from here the organ of Buchanus collect the waste and throw it out to the through the mental cavity. Okay, so it all happens to the near the heart, or we can say the pericardial cavity. So organ of Buchanus and Kieber's organ, they are associatedly together works. Okay, and how it works, excretory system includes the 1 or 2 pairs of Kieber's organ or organ of Buchanus. Understood? So Kieber's organ, it collects the complete waste material, and organ of Buchanus, it is just beneath the pericardial cavity, it throws out the waste material out from the mental cavity. Now coming to the blood pigment, the blood pigment is hemocyanin, copper containing pigment, and sense organs, they have eye, they have eye, stetocyst, and the osphradium. Osphradium, it plays very important role. They have chemoreceptors. Osphradium is working there for testing the chemical nature of water or pH in which they are living. Okay, so very important. And they are the animals, they are dioecious, they are mostly oviparous. Fertilization may be external or internal. Development is mostly indirect. And larval forms are trochophore larva, Glaucidium larva, Veliger larva. This is very important characteristic of the molluscans. So now so many points we have studied. Now let's see the larval stages in them. See, this is the larva which we have to study. This is the Glaucidium larva, Veliger larva, and trochophore larva. To see the diagram again and again, just viewing the diagram again and again, what it happens means our brain catches the diagram more frequently rather than the words. So this is the trochophore larva, which is very common in molluscans, and this is Glaucidium larva, this is Veliger larva. So this is the characteristic of molluscans. Now coming to the points, see, they are soft bodied animal, they show torsion, they have for excretion they have organ of Buchanus, for respiration they have ctenidia, they are dioecious and they are oviparous, they have larval stages like Glaucidium larva, Veliger larva, and most importantly they have radula. Okay, this is the characteristic of phylum Mollusca. Thank you for now. Next I am going to meet you on my second video, and we will complete the Mollusca, and I am not making the videos very long so that you never get bored. Thank you so much.